because I can't point the finger all day and say you got to be doing this, not necessarily. But there's people who have millions of subscribers out there who have so many followers, and my challenge to them, if you're listening, is hey, what are you doing? Where's your action steps? I look at your comment sections and people are like, what do we do? I want to know what's the action steps. I see it everywhere. And they're always complaining about the problems, talking endlessly about the problems, but they never introduce like how do we come together and actually solve it. That's a big problem. That's why we created that natural intelligence book where we detail it from every audience perspective. So we have documents for churches, prisons, and schools and different audiences. Because if you are one of these institutions or you're involved with these are the institutions that can change the world. The abolitionists used the churches, right, because they were very religious individuals, and that gave them a great benefit to their cause. But nowadays, we can similarly use these different institutions to say, hey, what if all the churches grew food around their premises? Like there would be no disease, no hunger, and we would basically solve a lot of our problems. The economy would become much more decentralized just immediately, just from everybody replacing their lawns, which are just sitting there doing nothing, providing no assets, poisoning, everything runs off into the water. Instead of that, we can grow food, which it literally says in the Bible that, have food around your church, and we would see a radical shift, right? So that's just one example. The prisons, the recidivism rate goes down like 60, 80% just by introducing a garden and letting the inmates work on a garden. And they've had personal experiences where they're like, wow, I'm now interacting with nature. Like I feel different. I feel alive. Right? Instead of being in that cell where it's like really cold and it's like, are we really treating like humans like animals? Are we going to do that, or are we going to treat them as if they are supposed to be something higher and more? So if we want them to be better, we have to treat them as such, and we have to rethink the way we're doing things. So I'm involved with that as well. There's Second Chance University, the biggest prison university in the world, that I'm involved with the Earth Council that Jim Gale is on, to try to get more people into permaculture, into growing food, and getting the education access to those inmates, into those prisoners. And so all this is happening. It's all happening in different ways. And I encourage anybody out there to reach out, and share their efforts. And if they want any help with content creation, that's another thing they can do. But I've been helping out a lot of people with content creation. So it's the events, it's the content creation, it's the colleges, it's the online work. We got to integrate it all together. There's a lot on me, but there's a lot that other people can do too.